A warm welcome to you all to the very first episode of the Resurge of the Spike ATL presented by FILA. Forever I Love Atlanta Sports. If you haven't subscribed, please go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go follow us on Facebook. And well, let me get right to it. So, as all of you know, Atlanta United has had some crazy days this past weekend, as well as basically the whole week has been, filled with news regarding, as everybody knows, Gabriel Heinze being fired, Rob Valentino coming in as the new head coach or interim coach, my bad. And there has been some changes. Personally, I've seen tactically a lot of changes that have come in. Especially when it comes offensively, I've seen a lot of movement, especially in the second half. I saw a lot of movement from guys like Marcelino Moreno. Sosa, obviously, he hasn't been coming as forward. He hasn't been coming, in the final third as he was in some games. But overall, the performance that Atlanta United had, I will think, that many of the fans will see it as a positive performance. In the first half, it wasn't as clean of a game because there was a lot of times where there were literally like plays in between both of the teams, Cincinnati or Atlanta United, where they were getting cut off. Like, it was just a very cut off game overall in the first half. But like I said, I love what Atlanta United showed, seriously. And in the first half, the pressing that they had and the offensive pieces that they had, they were all literally like pressing up high. There was times where we're lacking some type of creativity in the final third, but they got through it. And one of the main reasons why they got through it was because of Alex Khan. Like, seriously, like, he was the man stopping, a lot of shots that were on target, And shout out to King's Realm for being tuned into the Resurge of the Spike. But yeah, like I was saying, Alex Khan was honestly on top of his game. For him not being a starter, he was honestly like on the top of his game. There was like a good 2 chances in the first half that I know that easily Cincinnati could have put away a good 2 goals in the first half. But yet again, he was on top of his game, like I said. And also there in the second half, honestly, I felt like the chat that Rob Valentino had with the team itself during halftime, he wanted the team to get up because he knew exactly, that what Atlanta United has in the offensive pieces. As simple as that. I mean, you see Marcelino Moreno today. Honestly, today has probably has been one of the top games that he's had overall ever since he came to Atlanta United. You see him, like, the chances that he creates with like the little space that there is, or the little space that they give him. And honestly, you think like, he's that type of player that, obviously I'm not going to come over here and compare him to Miguel Almiron because he's not, but he has little flashes of creativity on offense that you would want in your team, honestly. And I would like to get your guys' opinion on whether, what do you guys think, has been the biggest change from that Heinze era to what this new team, or what this new management is like. Because personally, what I saw from the team overall itself, like I see more of a team. That's what I see. Seriously, more of a team. I don't see players just doing things just because they think that's the best out, or because they think that that's the right thing, but they're not doing what the best thing for the team is. There's a lot of things, like I said, that especially in the final third, in the second half, they were really good. Especially, like I said, Marcelino Moreno. He created a lot of chances. There was one in the first half where I know he hit the woodwork, and it was, I mean, it was top bin. It was right at the angle, and he was on top of the game, honestly, as well, offensively during the whole game. There was actually one play where even the announcers from the game were saying, like, I don't know if whether it's a good thing or a bad thing that, he's like tracking back one of the runners, like in the first 15 minutes of the game, in the defensive play against Atlanta United. And they're over here like, and that's the type of commitment that you would want from a type of player like Marcelino Moreno, because, being a DP, that's the type of pressure that you want. That's the type of pressure that you want a player to have, because that's when a player performs, I'm the type of person that, I don't like to personally, get the, or want to, touch things from the past, specifically with this team, with Atlanta United, because like someone said over there out in the blue, this fan base has really been spoiled in the first 2-3 years of this of this franchise. And honestly, like the way that you look at it is, you have to keep that momentum going. You can't, there's going to be a season, maybe two, where you're going to have, a reconstruction or a rebuild of the whole franchise itself. But you seriously, I heard somebody today say, and not only today, but I've heard it many times, Atlanta United is a super club that in MLS and in North America itself has already made noise. I mean, we didn't win Campeones Cup, just out the blue, out just from luck. Like, it's seriously something that has to be worked, it's a process that, once you start it, you can't stop it. Like I said, there can be declines, but that decline is what has to make you bounce up higher. It's as simple as that. Tommy X91 over here. Honestly, my thoughts on Heinze, I'm gonna be honest, man. I had super high expectations for him because of the fact that he was supposed to be one of the top managers coming out of South America, out of all South America, which, I mean, we're talking about South America's, one of the premier places where, managers and players come out of, football players, soccer players, as they call it here in America. But my thoughts, like I said, on him is I had high expectations, honestly, but the way that he managed the team, I don't think that, he really knew what he was walking into, because one thing is working in South America where, even the refs, call games differently than what they do here in North America. But he literally was the type of coach that he literally underperformed. And I'm not gonna go far. Frank De Boer was another coach that he underperformed. Whether it was here, whether I don't think personally, and this is not being me as a critic or anything like that, but I don't think Heinze is gonna have a type of like chance to make it to even Europe, because the way that he goes about things, not only here in Atlanta United, but back in Vela Sarfield, there was a lot of rumors to where the guy even find players if they will go up in weight. So that's something that I get it. There has to be like discipline in football and soccer or in any sport, but overall, you're a human, and that's something. And going back to what Rob Valentino said in the first interview that he gave to Atlanta United, that that he wanted to connect with the players. That's something that comes first. Like you're not a coach first, you're a human being first. That's something that's critical when it comes to like connecting with people. You're not just getting something in exchange just because I'm giving you something back. There has to be like some type of relationship so things can work out. You know what I mean? And Tommy says, if Mexico don't win Copa Oro, I can see Tata getting sacked. Hopefully he can return to Atlanta. Man, honestly, I was talking with this with one of my coworkers, because he's like a huge soccer fan too, and he follows like soccer everywhere too. I'm not saying because I would want Tata Martino back, because I don't think that honestly he would have the same results that he did with this team right now. And I'm being dead honest, because he even said it himself when he first not when he first, well, he gave an interview. I'm not exactly sure who he gave the interview to, but I know I read it, and he said that whenever he first came to Atlanta United, it was like literally playing FIFA. Like he was picking out, he like how he could form the team, because like seriously, he was the first coach. He was, the man that broke ground here in Atlanta United, or not here, but honestly, as many of you probably don't know, but I live in Charleston, South Carolina, but I've followed Atlanta United ever since they came out, because that's the closest MLS franchise that I have here. We don't have nothing in South Carolina. And Tommy says, ¿Eres catracho? Claro que sí, papá. Catracho 100%. 100%. But yeah, honestly, Atlanta United, like I was saying before, if they want to, they haven't maintained the status of a super club, especially last year and this year. There can be things that can turn things around this year, but a lot has to happen. There were flashes here and there where I saw a good team, honestly, in the second half today. There were there were a lot of chances created, honestly. Conway, Jackson Conway missed a couple of chances to where I feel like, he could have put the ball in the back of the net easily. But overall, I feel like, it's like a 50-50, honestly, in my opinion. The first half wasn't as good, but then the second half, it ended up being a good turnaround for Atlanta United in the sense that they pressed, in the final third. They were, getting balls offensively in the final third, and especially there was let me remember. If I'm not mistaken, there was a play from Marcelino Moreno. No. I'm mistaken. The play where Ronald Hernandez scored the play, like there was at least a good 7-8 passes in between, like both wings, to where you could tell that Atlanta United, have been working on stuff like that. They're a team that I feel like, it has the talent. They just haven't been worked, or they have been worked, but they haven't been worked tactically well where they know how to work the spaces. They know how to work the movements with the players, because honestly, what you saw in the first, I'm not going to say the first game because I was there for the first game for Atlanta, and they put up a good game somewhat against Chicago. But the rest of the games, I feel like, Atlanta did have some type of momentum, and that momentum could be like the possession that they have, because if you look at it, Atlanta is the team that has the most possession throughout this whole entire season. But yet again, they haven't been able to capitalize. There hasn't been that creativity in the final third to where, there's being clear chances created. And the clear chances that are created, they're not being put away, because at times, you didn't have the right personnel in the right position, or the right person starting. And, I know I'm not going to be over here criticizing personally, but, in the last few games, there was a lot of, or personally, there was a couple players that were starting that shouldn't have been in the starting lineup, honestly. And Tommy over here says, bro, we got unlucky. Kyoto and Ellis got injured. Yeah, man, honestly, the Golf Cup has honestly been something, I really don't want to get off topic here or anything like that, but a lot of people are going to be criticizing me for me saying that right now. But a lot of the games, and I saw like 95% of the games from the Euros, from Copa America, and from the Copa Oro right now. The Euro has some good games. Copa America, Copa Oro, they've had some good games. They have had some good games. A lot of people, criticize CONCACAF for not being, a top region in soccer and stuff like that. But they're getting there. They're getting there. Eventually, there's going to be a time where CONCACAF is going to have to step it up. Not only when it comes to international tournaments, but like club wise. We had Tigres last year, go to the FIFA World Club final. against Bayern Munich. I mean, if you want to become, if Atlanta United wants to become a top club, that's the type of competitions that they have to be aiming at. That's the type of pedigree that they have to be looking at. I feel like I said under Tatar Martino, there was that base was formed, like that foundation was formed. But after that, it's been like a snowfall effect. It's just gone down, and it really hasn't picked up ever since he's left. You know, like that excitement, that feeling that you get, like every time that they pick up the ball, like, you know, when they come in half field or when they press and they recover the ball, you know, you had that feeling like there was always going to be like a creative chance, or there was going to be a dangerous play coming. But now you don't get that. You don't have that. You don't have that excitement. And that's when a lot of fans start questioning, like, what has happened to Atlanta United? Like, why hasn't that momentum kept on going? And Tommy's really active today, man. He's like, we had the chances to win one when Almiron and Joseph was there, to be honest. I can't see us getting into that. Yeah, man, honestly. And you see, this is something that also, like, a lot of people don't get. And this is something that I've compared it to. This I don't remember who gave me this example, but Atlanta United is like when you grab like a Formula One car and you win everything with it. And then next year you come in and you change the driver. But the car is the same. It's just the driver that has changed. And when you look at it, it's like, all right, you should be winning because you have the same things, right? You have the same car and everything. But when it comes down to it, Atlanta United showed a lot of character, honestly, in that 2019 season, because even in the beginning of the season under Frank DeVore, there was a lot of, you know, tension of like why or like how they were being coached and stuff like that. But when you look at it, they still, you know, made a run in the U.S. Open, in the U.S. Open Cup. They beat Club America for the Campeones Cup. They were one game away from going back to the MLS Cup. So, you know, it's something that mainly to the players you have to give credit to, because they were the ones that had to adapt. I mean, the only players that came in that year literally for the starting lineup was Pity Martinez. Justin Marin was another one that was a regular starter. But other than that, you had the whole entire team from 2018. So it's something that, you know, like I said, Atlanta United has kind of disintegrated. They disintegrated that championship team. I mean, it's all gone. There's only like what, 2 players from that starter lineup. So if you look at it, you want to think, what is Atlanta United's plan? Is their plan really to, you know, be a championship team, to be a team that, you know, wants to have the international attention? Or is it a team that, you know, just wants to make money, that just wants attendance records, that just wants the attention from the media? That's what you really have to look at. Because if, like I said, people don't really pay attention to all the outside attention. Well, they really pay attention and what really gives them attention is what happens on the field itself. I mean, go back to 2018. Why did Atlanta United make so much noise? As simple as that. They were untouchable on the field. They were a team that had literally were on the top of their game. Every single player, was like the right fit to a whole puzzle. And this is the point where I feel like Atlanta United has to make a choice whether, like I said, they want to keep on being that championship team or they just want to be the team that buys players, sells them for somewhat better of a money. But it's something that, in a way, I've seen a lot of fans in social media, on Twitter, Facebook, on different fan groups and stuff like that. I've seen them and they've been the type that, they've made the noise heard, I'm gonna say the Atlanta United fans are the type of fans that they don't want to be messed with, honestly. Especially recently with all the stuff that has happened. It's been crazy. I hope, honestly, Atlanta United can really turn things around because personally, I'm a huge fan of Atlanta United. I mean, I've been following them, like I said, ever since they came into the scene. But in Atlanta's sports history, I mean, you look at it and it's like they're the team that has brought the last championship since 1995, since the Braves did. I mean, and you look at it and it's like Atlanta United has been the team for the people. Seriously, I mean, I don't want to say things that are wrong, but me personally, I think that Atlanta United has the biggest fan base in the whole MLS. As simple as that. I mean, the attendance records speak for it. I look on social media and like I see I mean, it's not one, two, I mean, it's hundreds, thousands, not hundreds, literally thousands of people that are just always connected with whatever is going on with Atlanta United. And I feel like higher up there, Arthur Blank, Carlos Bocanegra, Darren Eels, they have to look at stuff like that. They have to look at what the people want. Because if you don't keep them satisfied, then nobody's going to be satisfied. As simple as that. I mean, you look at, with what happened with the whole Joseph situation. And it gets pretty hectic, with the fans and stuff like that. But, you don't want them turning against you. And I'm not saying that they're going to turn against Atlanta United, but I'm talking about people personally. That's who they're going to turn against them. They're never going to turn against the team. Neither would I. I would never personally turn against the team. But when it comes to it, the people look at who's doing right and who's doing wrong. And they judge. The people are the judges, as simple as that, especially when it comes to sports and any sports. They really look at who's actually giving it all and who's just there just for a paycheck. I'm just going to leave it at that. But we hope that Atlanta United honestly gets back to its winning ways because is not only good for Atlanta United and for the city, but also for MLS. It made MLS look, I'm not going to say bigger, but it made MLS look better. You had a team that was packing out sold out stadium, a Mercedes-Benz, but it was because they were putting out good soccer, good football. So, like I said before, you want to keep that momentum going. You don't want people to think that, now things have changed and, they're that's the thing about being what you're good at. It's as simple that you gotta always be better and better. There has to be, it's like the snowfall effect. You always gotta get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger because you gotta have the ability to get better. You don't see teams from Europe, getting players that are just gonna come over here and get a paycheck. They're paying players because they know the ability that they have and what they can do on the field and some off the field. But that's something that Atlanta United has to recognize, honestly. They have to recognize what has been done wrong in the past managing and the past choosing of a manager. And now they have to basically, since last year, it's been called the reconstruction year, honestly, or the rebuild year. But personally, I feel like this is the year because they had so much time to think about, the coach that was coming in, Gabriel Heinze. He had they had 6-7 months to choose who the coach was going to be. I don't think that, they knew exactly the type of personality that he was. They just went by the high profile. And I feel like that's what Atlanta United has, in a way, done lately. They've just honestly gone for the name. I mean, you think of Gabriel Heinze as a player. I mean, I remember him playing for Real Madrid, for Manchester United. I remember him watching him play for Real Madrid in some Clásicos. And you think of the player and you think of the name, and then you think Frank de Boer. I mean, the man played for Ajax. He played for Barcelona. But when it comes down to managing, that's a whole different aspect because, I mean, you got to have, like I said in the beginning of this podcast, some type of connection with the players. Mostly, personally, when it comes down to being like, I remember a lot of, I don't remember exactly who said something from the Atlanta United team that, like, whenever Tata Martino came into the team, he was like a father figure to a lot of players. Same thing that has been said about El Cholo Simeone, the Atletico Madrid coach, which I know, like, I'm giving some examples from here, but I'm giving some examples from like teams from Europe and stuff like that because that's the top quality club. I mean, it's not that I'm downgrading MLS, America, or anything like that. But if we as a sport want to get better, that's where we have to be aiming at, But they're the type of coaches that, they connect with a player. They want the better out of you. They don't just see you like as a warthorse. They don't see you as just an athlete. That's something that Rob Valentino said that, you know, he doesn't want to see them just as athletes, as simple as that. You know, there's more to a person than just what they do on a regular basis. And that's what, you know, I feel like gives you an edge as a coach, you know, when you have the ability to basically connect with the player, you know, that gives you the edge to have some type of psychological advantage. I feel like, you know, to where you're able to give them that boost. You're able to give them that advantage, you know, mentally. And that's what Tata Martino did with a lot of players when he first came to, or when he came to Atlanta United. And I feel like that's what they need again. They need to look into somebody that's, you know, actually willing to work with the players itself, you know, not just somebody that is going to come just because it's a high profile name. Atlanta United, honestly, like I said, has to be looking into improve also within the roster, coaching wise, unless Rob Valentino comes and just blows everybody's mind away. Honestly, I would want to think that they're looking into getting a coach that actually knows what they're doing. I've seen a lot of people talking about, you know, the next hire should be somebody that's working within the MLS or that knows the MLS itself. I feel like, in a way, that's the right direction. But like I said, the main thing that you have to be looking at is at somebody or a coach that has that type of connection with the players, because if you don't have that, you're not going to get anywhere with them. As much as good players they could be, I mean, even in top clubs, even in top international teams, you see that happen, where egos are bigger than the team. And that's where a coach has to come in and lead in the right direction. Recently, that hasn't happened. We would want that to change, and we're hoping that's where we're heading. So, honestly, it's been a good, you know, session here, you know, with the FILA Sports podcast. If you guys have not gone on YouTube and subscribe, please go subscribe to the FILA Sports podcast. Also, we're available on Facebook. I know soon, if I'm not mistaken, we're also going to be uploading on Spotify. And thank you for everybody that, you know, has taken their time right now to be live. And the people that are going to be watching, I hope you guys enjoy it. We'll be bringing more content and more info, more analysis, and hopefully you guys go subscribe, go like the page, and well, we'll see you guys soon.